Welcome to TIES. Today we are here at Mosambik Climate Conference and I have with me Ms. Zui Joshi. She is the senior partner at Climate Collective. Welcome Ms. Zui.
Thank you, Srishta.
So to begin with our conversation, can you tell me what does your role really evolve around at Climate Collective?
Right. So I've been at Climate Collective since over 6 years now, which has been a really long time at the organization. And my role, initially when we were a really small team, my role was everything. I used to do acceleration and I used to look after all of the operational stuff. But now we are a team of 40 people, and so we have very specific verticals that some of us look after. And one of the key things that is also very close to my heart is the Women in Climate Entrepreneurship Initiative. So I am really passionate about bringing more gender diversity in the climate tech startup ecosystem. And so my work revolves around this to get more women entrepreneurs into the space. The other portions of my work is to create diverse pipelines and quality pipelines into the ecosystem. So it's also the education vertical that I build. And I come from an impact assessment consultancy space. And that's also what I believe, that when we are in an impact space, what we can't measure, we really can't see that, right? That's the core of what we are all here for, the impact created. And how do we measure and how do we then mitigate it is also what I do at Climate Collective. And in terms of domain, circular economy and adaptation and resilience are the two areas where I look at all of the cross-cutting work at Climate Collective.
So Zoe, can you also take me through the vision behind Mosambik Climate Conference, because it is one of its kind of event and is expected to bring a root level change. So what are your expectations and vision behind it?
Right. So we always wanted, one of the key things that we do at Climate Collective is to support climate tech startups. So we believe that technology and action on the ground are what is going to make a greater scalable impact on the ground. And so startups are the core of what we do. But then to have a very enabling ecosystem around startups is very essential for their growth. And so we work with number of enablers in the startup ecosystem, which are corporates, investors, foundations, government agencies, other incubators and accelerators. And all of these players have to come together and collaborate and solve problems, fostering partnerships at a more deeper level. And that is the idea of the Mosambik Climate Conference, to get senior decision makers in the climate tech ecosystem to come together, think about critical issues, find solutions, and hopefully use this platform to forge deeper relationships.
Zoe, you closely work with startup and startup enablers, and then there is this tagline that we are seeing at the event, that there is no net zero without startups. So what is your take on this and how do you really explain this?
Right. Of course, many factors are at play to reach the net zero goals. We need policies that are enabling. We need governments to align internationally to come together. We need the flow of capital coming into the space. But what we strongly believe is that to reach these net zero goals, we need cutting edge innovations disrupting the market, because at the pace at that we are going right now, and if we are completely dependent on industry to create change, it's very hard for corporates, due to their very nature, to bring about disruptive innovation at a very quick pace. But startups can do that because they're very agile. They're new to the space and they honestly have nothing to lose. So it's the startups that can go at a very fast pace. And we're seeing better, newer innovations coming into the market. And these are the tech-enabled innovations, deep tech innovations that are going to reach that kind of scalability in the market that can create change very quickly and at scale and also across borders, you know.
In your previous answers, you talked about the support and education program that you run for youth and academic institutions. So, what are the kind of programs that Climate Collective really offers?
Right. So we work with women and youth who are post their graduation and looking into the first early career development. They are just entering the market and wondering what's the right path for them. We believe that because of the great transition that we are in right now, where we are going towards green sustainability transition, that is going to create a lot of jobs, right? It is going to be the growth engine for jobs and employment in the country. And for that, we need youth to be ready,
True.
right? If we don't have enough employable youth, then how do we expect the transition to be run by startups? And so what we aim to do in our education programs is to, one, disseminate knowledge about climate technologies and innovations and build that entrepreneurial spirit so that they are well aligned and ready to work in the startup tech space. So we actually offer long 9-month entrepreneurship education courses for women that we've been doing for several years now across India, Maldives, which have really gotten very good outcomes. Women have either started their own businesses or gotten internships and then further jobs in climate tech startups, or have gone on to do further deep research in the climate tech space. We also work in partnerships with universities. We work with certain universities to train their students, offer them open source content courses that they can then disseminate amongst their student community or amongst their alumni community. So we work at all levels. We work at an individual level. We work with partnerships with universities.
Also, Zui, a major part of your role covers the women entrepreneurship programs as well. And you have been associated with Climate Collective for quite a long time. So, have you seen a shift in investor mindset? Like if we talk about 2018 and we talk about today. So, what is the shift that you see?
I mean, so gender lens investing in itself, I think is now becoming very, like a focus area now for many investors. I think there's a lot more awareness in the ecosystem that gender is one of the pillars that they have to focus on apart from their other impact verticals. So, in fact, we at Climate Collective, we have a gender climate impact framework because we know that gender and climate, there's a very inherent intersectionality between the two, and one cannot be separated from the other. So we do that to help investors get educated about the intersectionality, make them more aware, and also showcase impacts, quantified impacts that are gender and climate impacts. So I think the awareness is building up. Of course, there is a very skewed funding in the ecosystem where we see that the percentage of funding into women-led startups is quite low still. And there are issues like investor biases at various levels where women-only founder teams are extremely rare to have gotten funding in the space. So, of course, there's a lot of work to be done and we have to reach a whole other level of awareness building and reducing these biases.
Zui, you also work closely with students and with, the young talent, we can say. So we see this trend that when people pass out of their college, so there's a lot of zeal to, do something at their own. And now we see the trend in startup ecosystem, then fintech, D2C startup. These are the kind of, sectors that are booming. But when it comes to climate tech, what kind of, passion you see? Are people really interested in doing something in this space? So what kind of change and shifts you see in the entrepreneurial mindset?
Right. I think students today are very conscious of the climate and environmental problems, and I think I see fantastic startups coming out from
Can you
you.
recall a few, like maybe?
Yeah, of course. There's this wonderful startup called eConscious that we work with, which takes the plastic waste and converts it into value materials, which is construction material, particle boards. So very recently at the Mahakumbh, it was eConscious that had built these changing rooms made out of plastic. They started off right after their college. Two youth right post college starting off a startup of their own, which is now scaled up and is also doing cross border deployment, right, which is amazing. We also see certain deep tech startups in the space because of academic institutions like IIT Madras, who are also here, who have helped in the research and development for students. So I see a lot of examples in the space who are doing very good work. In terms of how youth think about climate, I think the narrative has now shifted to climate tech being very commercially viable. So it's no more, a lot of it is not even in the, so to speak, impact space where there is less capital available. A lot of the climate tech innovations, particularly on the mitigation side, mobility side, energy side, are very commercially viable and are attracting good commercial capital. And that does help change mindsets that people automatically find these businesses very attractive to get into, which is a good thing.
Right.
So we've seen, for example, in the e-mobility space, a lot of youth startups coming in battery technologies, in solving like retrofit electric vehicles and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Also, like what will be the key advice from you for anybody willing to start their venture in the climate tech space?
I mean, it's a great budding ecosystem. It's a sunrise sector that's only growing. We see that even in the investors, the sentiment is there that all of them have climate as their priority. So a lot more capital is flowing in and is going to only rise. And so I think it's an opportune time to be in climate tech now. Yeah.
So coming to the end of this conversation, we are at the Mossambi Climate Conference. So what are your 3 key takeaways from today's conference?
Yeah, I think, this is really exciting for us. And what I see from all of these enablers in the space today that we have managed to convene is that there is a genuine sense or genuine eagerness to collaborate. I think that's coming out very strongly. We've had roundtables where people have come together to have hard conversations with one another, share thoughts, share learnings, and just get these deeper personal level connections. So I feel like there is a good intention to collaborate now, which builds openness and an open ecosystem that we are working towards. I think my second takeaway would be that no matter how senior and a decision maker, I think climate tech being wide, people are always learning. And so the thirst for knowledge and just soaking up knowledge is what we see at the conference today. And that's amazing. And the third is that I think now there is a conviction that startups are the key to net zero goals. And I think we share that common conviction amongst the ecosystem, which is great.
Thank you, Zui, for your insights. It will be really, enticing to the audience.
Thank you, Shrestha.